Hello everybody, I am Matt Williamson and you are watching Pop Goes the 60s. Today I have a special announcement. I am launching a Patreon subscription for this channel, and it's something that's been long overdue. There's never a good time to start it. There's never a good time to not start it, so I'm starting it now finally after a lot of hard work. And one of the things that I must say was one of the best compliments I've had on this channel, in doing this channel, is I've had several people ask me to start something like this. They want to donate, they want to buy merchandise. So I thank you for those requests. That's been very flattering. And I've always intended to monetize. And a couple reasons why I wanted to do that. First reason is since I have a channel that plays a lot of music clips, I run into some copyright claim issues. And this is not unique to me. Anybody that plays music on YouTube, those are some of the risks we take. And sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't. One of the things, I'll give you an example of something that didn't work. Once your channel gets a little bit bigger, people smell the money and they come after you like, sharks with blood in the water. And I had somebody actually make a claim on some dialogue where I was speaking. They were trying to claim my words. And there's just some unscrupulous people out there that will try to take the money from you. And I challenged that and I won that. So those are just some of the things behind the scenes that people that do what I do have to deal with. And a Patreon subscription will help offset some of the revenue I might lose on the front end. So that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize. But like I say, I think it's important to play music when I talk about these bands. My goal is to educate people about these bands, and I don't think you really educate them without hearing the music. So I always include, in these histories, I include the hits, the popular songs, but I also include the deep cuts for people who are more interested in that. And I've always said that the measure of a band is how good their deep cuts are. So I think that's an important part of the videos I do, so I do intend to keep that. So those, who knows how that's going to go. I do this with the fair use clause. So I'm really okay there. Generally, some of these videos that last 25 plus minutes, and there's just a few seconds of a song, somebody wants to claim the revenue for that whole 25 minutes. Well, they don't get to do it if I have anything to say about it, but that's something, sometimes we got to fight for that. So anyway, that's one of the things that a Patreon subscription will help offset if I run into those issues. Overall, my goal is to continue to create the best content I can make. I don't have a channel unless I offer quality content. That is my week-to-week challenge with every video I do. And I've got a good 10 years worth of topics, so we're fine there. So I'm excited to do more. Now, one of the things that I've been thinking about when coming up with what I'm going to offer for a Patreon supporter, I wanted to do something unique, something special, as special as the content that I offer. So I came up with two tiers. The first tier is $1 per month, and these are the 5 things you get in the first tier. So you get behind the scenes content and works in progress. Some people have asked me, well, Matt, how do you make these band histories? I'd be interested to know how you do that in your process. That's a potential topic. Another one would be the album bins that I have upstairs that I hold all my albums in. I designed those shelves with a carpenter friend of mine, and people have asked me about, well, how are those designed? What are they made of? How do they work? Can we get a better look at those? So those are the type of things I wouldn't mind elaborating a little bit on if there's interest for that. I'll also offer early access to videos. So typically the Patreon supporters will get the videos first, which also means I'll probably be commenting on those first as well. There'll also be exclusive videos to Patreon that I may not show on YouTube, and exclusive surveys as well. I like to do some more surveys to help me gauge what I should be doing with the channel, and some of those will just be exclusive to the Patreon supporters just because they'll just have more skin in the game, and probably utilize that feature a little bit more. The other thing I want to do is Q&A. On YouTube, typically I see people doing live streams, so I may do some of those. And I probably would do that with the Patreon supporters first and offer that just to them. It gives them a chance to get to know me, ask me questions directly, and for me to learn maybe firsthand about certain areas to take the channel in. So that is point number 4. Number 5, a merchandise discount. As I said, people have asked me about merchandise, and I've got some very cool options, some very unique items I'm going to be bringing on for purchase. I don't have that set up quite yet. Patreon actually does offer one. I didn't care for it too much. I'm going with some higher end ones, so I'll be adding links to take you to that. So that is tier 1. Tier 2, and this is $5 a month. And what you get with the $5 a month tier, you get MP3 downloads. Now, one of the things that I've done, I've collected all these years. I've got a pretty good collection of bootlegs, songs that have been unreleased, and lots of Beatles stuff. And just like the collection, the reason I started this channel was to share my collection, share my knowledge, and I'm going to start sharing some of my files because it doesn't do me any good just to keep them, and I can't take them with me. So I think several people would be interested in some of this stuff, and I'd be happy to offer that in this tier. The other thing I'm going to do, as many of you know, I've done several videos featuring albums that never were. I think I've done about 5 or 6 Beatle albums that never were, and people have asked me about buying these and things like that. And you know, there's some issues with selling that kind of thing, so I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to raffle them off. They're expensive to make, for one, and they're also a pain to put together. So I think this would be a cool thing for people because so many people have asked me about them. The other thing I could also offer is people ask me, well, how do you make these? That'd be a behind-the-scenes video I could offer as well. So works in progress. I'm typically working on multiple videos at one time. For example, when I did, it was the 10 Reasons the Beatles Broke Up. I worked on that for about 1.5 years, and I kept coming back to it. I kept refining it. You know, I took a break from it. I would get some new information I would add to it. So these things do take time, and so that would be something I could share. The other thing I'm going to offer, I had this idea to do some screensavers. Some of these bands are some of the more popular bands. I think people might like something for their computer. And I've got a couple Beatle things in mind that I'd start with. I won't have anything right off from the get-go, but I have a couple things already I'm working on. And we'll see how those go. You know, I probably will do them for some of the more popular bands I cover. I don't know that there'll be too many people wanting a screensaver on the Kaleidoscope, but you never know. So we'll see how that goes and see what people find that they want more. The other thing I'm going to offer are some downloadable CD artworks for the albums that never were. People have asked me about this, and I think downloading some CD-sized stuff would be perfect. People could put them in jewel cases. I can offer some blank areas where people can put their own track listings in if they want. And that's something that people have asked me about. I think that's something that would be very easily done with some PDFs here in the $5 tier. So let's start things off here. The first MP3 I'm going to offer with anybody who signs up now is a song by the Beatles called Sour Milk Sea. This was an unreleased song during the White Album period. This was a George Harrison song. And the version I have, I did some editing on it to tighten it up a little bit. This is out there if you can find it, but my version is a little bit cleaned up. So this is an example of the things I'd like to post every once in a while for you. And I've got quite a lot of Beatles stuff. That's the main thing that I have. And as I said earlier, why not share it with people? This way it gets in your hands and you can enjoy it. Instead of, you know, I do play some of this stuff on the channel, but I just play little portions of it. This way you get the whole song. Now, the other thing I'm going to offer right off the bat, I'm going to do a raffle for an album that never was. And when I hit 25 subscribers in the $5 tier, I'm going to do an album that never was raffle. So those are pretty good odds, 1 out of 25. That'll be fun. Now, one of the things I will be doing as I grow the Patreon support, I'm going to use some of that money to fund a website. One of the things that I think I need to do is have more of a diverse platforms. As I said, I have some issues with copyright. I don't know exactly where that's going to be going in the future. I am playing this music under the fair use doctrine, so it's legal what I'm doing. but that doesn't mean YouTube isn't in the business of publishing. So there's some areas where they're a little nervous about. So having a website offers me another platform if I want to put something there that I have an issue, I'm having trouble with on YouTube. A website will also offer a better user experience for merchandise as well. This is something that I will be growing, and I'm going to have some pretty cool things available that I don't think you're going to see other people do. And the website will help me do that as well. The other thing I want to use the website for is to post more band histories. Some of the band histories that I do in video form, I might put those in print form. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that. I had an idea for a website 10 years ago before I even started this channel, and ended up doing this channel instead. But I think there's a lot of value in blog type of posts, things, more of my writing actually, that would be posted on the website that I think would be a nice addition to what I do here. So the links are below. I'd be very flattered if you even just look at these links and consider subscribing. As I said, I wanted to offer you guys something for your trouble and for your donations, and something unique. And I think I've done that with these 2 tiers here. And let's have a look. Tell me what you think. And they'll be available right now. So have a look. And there's plenty more coming. The next band that I'm working on, and this is what I'll be doing on the Patreon channel, but I'm going to offer it to everybody here. I am busy working on Jefferson Airplane. That's been one of my biggest requests. And I think it's going to be at least a 3-part series. So that you're going to see in a couple of weeks. And I have a lot of other heavy hitters in 2023. So you're going to want to check back. So those are some of the things I got brewing here on Pop Goes the 60s. Thanks for watching.